Hi, I'm Grant Nelson. This is my dog Bailey here to my right, and welcome to Mustache Off Grid. Woo! Got her. All right, Bailey, come on. Hi guys, Grant Nelson again here with the Mustache Off Grid YouTube channel. I figured for today's video I'd show you guys some of the projects I'm working on today. What's going on there, Bailey? I've got this hickory I cut that I'm bringing to my Amish friend, and basically that's one of my projects I'm doing. But basically you go down them and you have to prune all these little stobs off, and then I have a deal where I split it with my Amish friend. So that's one thing that's on the agenda. He sells it on, we split the deal. I just bring him the hickory. So that's one thing I'm working on. Another thing, I'll come down the hill here, show you guys some of the other things here. I've got quite a bit of rabbit manure to move with the rabbits over there. Chicken. Here's the pig down here. I still got to work on the log cabin. I'll show you guys the spot that I've been clearing for it. This is the pig Cornelius. Some of you guys might know if you're new to the channel. That's my pig. Eventually I'll be making him into bacon. What did I come down here for? Oh, I was going to show you guys I've been cleaning my shed here. And I built this tool table right here. And I was going to buy a nice metal toolbox to put like along the back wall there, along there. But so I could store my tools in it and organize it a little bit. You can see they're all scattered on the table. But I was looking at the boxes and there's just none the kind that I want. They all have wheels and they're all wheel boxes and stuff. So I think I'm gonna build some shelving and some things like that one of these days here. Probably I might do that tonight because the hickory isn't a rush. So that's one thing I'm working on. Still working on the log cabin. You guys can see some of the logs right there that I got. Probably seen some on the way down here too. I've been throwing these rocks out of the pig's pen to because I'm going to use them. I'm going to go through his pen though. You can see there's all kinds of rocks. I'm going to go through his pen and get all the rocks out of there. Probably go through there one of these days and burn all that wood out there, or stack some of it for firewood and burn some. I got to clean up this trail to get my truck back here, but that'll be quick and easy to do. That'll probably take me an hour, but that's on my list. Cut this up, that's on my list. And then we've got some pylons here I made for the concrete for doing the slip forming. I had them set up, but they fell over. You can see this is nailed here. So not a big deal though. I can pick that up and do it, but I'm gonna fill that up with rocks. I've kind of cleared out this area here a little bit to where I want to build it in here. This is not a stump. It looks like a stump, but it's just a log there. Hickory. You can tell by the bark. Bailey's taking a pee there. He's like, I can't get any privacy around here. But that's some of the stuff I'm working on. I forgot to show you guys the one thing too that I'm working on. There's some more logs right there. Got all this stuff on the ground I gotta burn. Some of it I might use for smoke wood, but I'll probably burn most of it. it's a constant struggle keeping things cleaned up out here, just because I've got so many projects I'm working on. I had this feeder back in the woods right here. It's a deer feeder. I didn't have it. It actually came with the property. It was just sitting back there. I'd never used it, but I'm going to use it to set up a lamb creep feeder, and that's why I have the gate right there leaning up against the fence. I might work on that right now, actually. So while I'm doing that, I'll show you guys what it is, and you guys can get an idea on what it is and why we do it. Got a couple of the rabbits. This one gets real skittish right here. There's another one. You can see I got to clean up a little bit. We just got out of a cold spell, so I've kind of been a little lazy, kind of just basking in the sunshine a little bit. All right, we're gonna walk up here. I'm thinking I'll show you guys my idea for the crate feeder. I've got some nice little lambs out here in the pasture. The first one's born on the homestead. I kind of latch this right like this, just in this little, and then I kind of step through here, you can see, and then it kind of latches again. But I've got a little bit of an overhang up here on the roof, so I think that this would be perfect to put that deer feeder down the back of this, and put like a little pen so that the bigger sheep can't get in there and eat the feed. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna work on that, and I'll show you guys in the film what it is. It helps the lambs grow a little bit better, and I kind of want to wean those lambs a little sooner than some new ones. So I want to wean them a little sooner than people normally do, because I'm thinking about milking the sheep. So we'll see how it all goes, but it'd be better to have them eating some grain and they grow a little bit faster that way. If you're doing show sheep, that's a lot better. So anyway, I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, now the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to hang the crate feeder up. That way I can get an idea on where I need to put do the next step. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to run it, this twine, this is just a standard hay twine, into the building here. And I'm going to go around here. And I'm going to put it through the hole. And this deer feeder actually had some of this metal stuff right here, which is really perfect to tie it in. So I'm gonna, well, just looking at it here, it's got that knot where the baler ties the thing. So I'm probably gonna cut this. I don't have a knife on me, but I have a saw. And if I look bigger than the last time you guys seen me, I've really been lifting a lot of weights at the gym, so just figured I'd mention that. This ain't a good attempt here. You know, I'm just gonna tie it and see what happens, but it just went, it slipped through the crack again. One thing about something like this setup, one of these kind of deer feeders, this is all made of PVC pipe, so it's pretty simple to put together. It's got a cap right here. You take that cap off, put your grain in, and then basically the grain goes down here and they eat out of that bottom part. You can probably see what I'm talking about there, but I'm just going to tie it in here. I think tying it's going to work just fine. And I'm going to tie it just like a shoelace. That way it's fairly tight. The knot on this is really the thing that's been given the issue here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here. Tie it, slide it through the crack and tie it in. I'm not sure, maybe down there might be bitter. Yeah, well, we're just going to do it right here. I think right there is just fine. Looks fine to me. Seems like it's pretty sturdy, really. I'm pretty impressed. Actually, I didn't know how this was going to work, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out so far. That seems pretty solid. Feel pretty good about it. All right. So that's how the feeder's gonna sit. And one thing, guys, this is a pro tip right here. You have sheep and you got loops like this. You're gonna want to cut them loops because otherwise the sheep can get their neck in there and they can choke to death. So if you got loops, like these loops right here, then you're going to want to cut them. I'll probably cut them with a knife in a little bit here, but just make sure if you have loops in your pasture that are about that big, a lamb could get its head right in there and choke. So you can probably see what I'm talking about. All right, next step, I'm going to get my wire cutters, because there's a cattle panel on the other side of here that I'm going to use here. Now I'm using this cattle panel particularly because it's already bent. It's already got a bend to it. The sheep have been pushing on it. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to curve this around like that and put it in there. I'm going to have to put some posts in. I think maybe like right there would be pretty good. I'm going to put another one over here. we'll see how that'll wrap around. I might have to pull that one out. Oh, I think it's going to bend perfect, really. I think that's going to be perfect right there. So, I'm going to turn this off real quick, just so you guys don't have to watch me mess around here. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, back again. I've got some wire right here. I did a video before on the most useful tool on the homestead, and I said this wire. I'm going to run this wire between these boards here through the building, and I'm going to run 3. Alright guys, I'm going to bring the camera around here because I don't want you guys to have to sit and look at nothing for a long time here. You can see I'm running some of the wire through here. And I'm doing the same thing over here. I'm running 1, 2, and I'm going to run 1 on the bottom, so 3. I've got nice wire cutters. Yeah, that's one thing about these green boards. If you nail them right next to each other, they'll get a little crack as they dry between them. Usually when you first nail them, they don't have a crack. If you want to prevent that, you can go horizontal, up and down. And then you can put one down the seam on the horizontal. Just an idea if you guys are building a cabin or a shed or something to consider. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Run the wire through around the board here. And if you have show animals and you want them to grow the biggest you can get them, crate feeders like this, what I'm setting up here, are going to be something you're going to want to do if you have show goats or show sheep or even show cattle. In certain cases, you're going to want to give them unlimited grain, or at least more grain than the rest of the flock. And setting up an area like this is probably the best way to go about doing something like that. Okay, we got the wires ran through there. Now I'm just gonna tie it in here. I've got a pair of pliers, which should help a little bit here. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky, guys. So we're gonna pull this to there. And this is gonna be the bottom one. First, I'm just gonna do it just to get them kind of like that. I'm gonna get them loose first. Then I'm gonna tighten them up. The other side I'm gonna be able to get tight right away, because this one's gonna be hooked in here. You can get things just a little bit tighter with the pliers, which is why I got them. For something like this that you want it to be fairly tight. Because the lambs and the other sheep too are going to put a lot of pressure on this stuff. They always do. So just keep that in mind. And I think it'll be tight enough at least that the bigger ones can't get in there, which is the main, really all you're wanting to do is keep the bigger ones out. Could just be maybe I'll move one of these, yeah, I'll probably pull one of these posts out and move it in, and that'll make it perfect, really. good idea. Just thinking outside the box a little. I'm gonna have to re-put this post back in, but not a big deal. The only reason I'm putting the post in, by the way, are, you know, you could put it like this, but the big ones might be able to push in and get the grain without them T-post in there. So I kind of thought that through in my mind with that aspect. Seems pretty tight, pretty good really. We're going to tighten up this side now that we got that side tight. Seems like the bottom would be a good spot to start on it. Bad. I like to curve, you know, kind of turn them a little bit. Just give them a little extra tightness to them. Just tightening it up a little bit. That's pretty good right there. Now we're going to put in that other T-post here, just so they can't push it inward. Put this T-post back in here. Also, never leave your pliers in the leaves because you'll lose your pliers often doing that. I've lost more than one pair doing that. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, now for the final steps here, guys. I'm going to grab my wire cutters. These are more bolt cutters, really. And right between these two posts, I'm going to cut a little hole for the lambs to get through. Now to start, I'm just going to make it maybe like that. And you want to kind of try to keep it straight so it don't have a real sharp end. I might grind them off. But you want it about the size that the big ones can't get through. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here, but I'm cutting these. And making a little hole for the lambs to get through only. We might make it just a little bit wider. I don't think a big one's going to get through there. There you go. Now you've got a functional crate feed area. Make sure you cut your loops. But basically I'm going to fill that with grain, and then the lambs should be able to go in there and eat, and the big ones will be kept out. And in a couple weeks, if the lambs get taller, I can make this taller if I need to. I'm probably also going to wire this to the post here. So I'll complete this here. Just going to turn this off. I'll be right back in a second. Alright guys, the final steps here. Basically what we're going to do here. Final steps, I'm going to wire this to the post here. And I'm going to put feed in it. Now this is an 8-foot cattle panel. You can use 16 foot if you have a bigger flock or something like that. But this right here is a 8-foot cattle panel. So consider the size of your flock and things like that. You might want to use a bigger area, but I've only got 2 lambs, so I don't really need a huge area. And make sure these aren't too sharp right here where you cut the opening. My lambs are big enough, or they're small enough that this ain't gonna bother them. But there's some car on the road here. But yeah, there's someone driving by on the road here. Blue Jeep. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Probably cutting a little more than I really need to be cutting, but that's okay. I'm going to reuse this wire anyway. Usually wire is pretty good because you can reuse it more than once. Once I take it off here, I'll have a bunch of used wire to tie the next project that I need to tie. And this whole idea right here, I kind of just came up with it myself. I didn't see anything online for it. It was just me sitting around thinking, how can I, what's the best way for me to set up a crate feeder for the lambs? This was just kind of what I came up with as the easiest, most efficient way. And you guys can kind of see what it is. It's about done now. Got the big butcher knife here. You don't need to use a butcher knife, but I'm just cutting the loops. Like I was saying, make sure you cut your loops. It's a little shaky, but make sure it's all tight. Seems pretty good right there. And then I'm going to put some grain in it. Take the cap off the top. And you might want to use like a coffee can or something to put the grain in here. I'm going to use the feed top really. And a couple things to keep in mind when you're doing this, guys. Make sure that you have a roof over it if there's a lot of rain, so it don't get wet and moldy. It's got some holes in the bottom for stuff to drain out of. You can also add hay into this, but I've been throwing the hay right outside of it, so they've got plenty of hay. And you could fill it up as high as you want. I'm just going to put a half bucket in because that's probably plenty for now. That'll last them weeks at their size. And there they are right there. There's the mother Loretta, and there's the 2 lambs over there off in the distance. You can probably see them playing around in the woods over there. But anyway, guys, just a couple ideas for you. Make sure your feed doesn't get wet. Make sure it has a roof over it. yeah, I mean, that's it. That's how you set up a crate feeder. This PVC pipe type of feeder might be something to consider if you're looking for, you know, a cheap and simple option. You have some old PVC pipe laying around, might be something to use. I just used 1 8-foot cattle panel, 2 T-posts, and it's very easy to set it up this way. Ease of use is the main thing. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching, and God bless. You ready for your treat? See it? See it? See it? Nice catch. Nice catch. We'll give you one more for the show. One more, boy. See it? Nice. Very nice. Good boy. Good boy.